So you heard about EverQuest Legends and you may or may not have ever played EverQuest before, and you're wondering what the hell are you supposed to do when you get started? Well, that's what this video is all about. I, the creator of the most mediocre EverQuest beginner guide, that's what I titled it, well, I'm here to help. This video is designed to be a beginner basics to get you started whether you are familiar with EverQuest and just want to know how EverQuest Legends is different, or if you have no freaking clue how to play or what a frog lock is. Ribbit. There'll be timestamps down below so you can hop around to the information that you need. But before we get into this, I had to do something truly horrifying to make this guide. I had to delete my max level EverQuest Legends beta character to make this. Believe it or not, I was sponsored to do that. Sponsored to delete my character. My first sponsor in over 5 years of content creation. This video is sponsored by none other than EverQuest Legends themselves, who looked around at everybody creating content and decided I was the best one to make this video, and I hope I don't f it up. Shit, can I still cuss? Let's start with character creation. We need to start at race and classes selection because this is a very important step, even if it's not entirely permanent. You'll pick from one of 15 different races, and this will actually impact your primary class, because there is a race class matrix that you need to abide by, at least for this one. For example, picking an ogre means that your primary class is limited to Beast Lord, Shaman, Berserker, Warrior, or Shadow Knight, but picking a human means you can be basically anything. But who would want to be a human when you can be a frog? The good news here is that with some effort, you can actually change this later. There are in-game achievements for race unlocks like the Barbarian unlock you're seeing here. Now these aren't going to be easy, it's going to be quite a lot of grinding to be able to unlock these, but it does mean you aren't fully locked into that boring human you picked. The second most important choice you're making here is your primary class. The way classes in EverQuest Legends work is that you can mix and match 3 different classes pretty liberally throughout the game. However, you start with a primary class that can't be changed until you hit level 50, at which point you can unlock a second primary class. Basically, if Shadow Knight is your primary class, you're mix and matching 2 classes with that Shadow Knight throughout until level 50. Then you could pick a second primary class like Berserker. And that would give you a whole new set, but you're again mix and matching 2 classes with the Berserker. Your primary class is like your pivot foot in basketball. You can't move off of it. Your secondary and tertiary or third classes though are completely different. Take for example here, we've got our little Ixar with the Necromancer as their primary class. Now I get to go and choose my secondary class, which is not limited by the same class race matrix as the primary. I can be anything, an Ixar Ranger, Ixar Paladin, whatever my little scaly heart desires. And this is a full-on, fully featured class to complement my primary class. That means you have everything that you would if you were just that one class. There's no difference here in like how strong one class or the other is, they all are the same level. We won't be picking our third class until level 10 though. Until level 11 you can freely switch your classes, but once you hit level 11, you'll need to switch those second 2 classes in cities. So you'll still be able to mix and match those 2 secondary classes, but not your primary class until you hit that level 50 unlock. As you can see here on the screen right now, I have Shadow Knight as my primary class, and then all my secondary classes are mixed and matched in different loadouts on the side on the right. The first thing that I do in game is modify my UI a little bit. Everything can be moved around or stretched or shrunk, but the main things you want to be aware of is your health, mana, and endurance bar right here, and the enemy target box right here, and your spell gems right over here. In EverQuest Legends, you are limited with how many spells you can have memorized at any time. To use a spell, it must be memorized in the spell gem. Almost like EverQuest originally originated from MUDs or something like that. The limits on the amount of spells we can have don't really matter that much right now in this little example because we only have 2 spells at the moment and they are helpfully already memorized for us. To unmemorize your spells, to swap them out, hover over the gem and right click. There's a few different ways to mem your spells from here. The most useful and helpful, especially as you get more and more spells, is going to be right-clicking the gem. This lets you see your spells in different categories, and you can just click the one that you want. Otherwise, you can open up your spellbook with default K or using the spellbook icon at the bottom of the spell gem bar. This is also a hotkey for spells pre-made for you, which you can see down in the hotbar, which is set for the number of 6. To memorize this way, left-click the spell icon, and it will attach to your mouse, and you can drag it over to the spell gem and left-click in the gem you want it to be in. Now let's say you want to cast your first spell gem slot, in this case Life Tap, using your hotkeys. Use pretty much the same idea as the spellbook. Left-click and hold over the spell gem, and it'll attach to your mouse, and you can add it to your hotkeys. Each hotkey shows the key that activates it. Just remember that you do have to hold it briefly for it to attach. This is also how you'll move your hotkeys around. At level 1, we have the spells we need right now, and EverQuest Legends through level 20 will give you the most necessary spells for your class as you level up, so no need to go and buy them early on. But you will need to eventually, and spell vendors are located in starting cities across Norath with most of the spells you'll need, but of course before you buy some spells, you're gonna need some money first. You can make additional hotbars to add everything from items to spells to macros and skills by right-clicking and selecting Open New Hotbar. And you're going to need it because this is where EverQuest Legends gets really interesting. Stances and Invocations. EverQuest Legends has unique, very potent skills called Stances and Invocations. Stances for melee and Invocations for casters, and they can be used together if you're both classes. To find these, navigate to your menu box that defaults to the bottom right of your screen, or press L by default. Under abilities, you're going to find these specific to your class build as well as basic and general hotkeys. In this demonstration, I am a Berserker and a Necromancer right now, those two classes. As a Berserker, a melee class, you see that I have the Berserker stance, which uses my endurance to double my attack speed while also making me take 8.3% of the damage I deal. I'm definitely going to want to use that, so I'm going to drag it and drop it on my hotkeys. But there will be times when I don't want to be taking that damage, because I'd probably die. So I'm going to go ahead and add the offensive stance as well, which increases my melee damage by 100% and chance to hit by 25%, using up my endurance but not causing damage. Not quite as strong, but not quite as risky, and I can swap in between the two of them at will. I'm also a spellcaster, or it could be a hybrid. Necromancer is my primary class, so we want to add in an invocation. An invocation works separately from these stances, and I have a few options like Overchannel, which makes my spells harder to resist, or Recover, which doubles my mana regeneration. Very helpful since I'm also a Berserker, I'll be meleeing a lot, so not really focusing on all that mana regeneration. So now I'm set going into Berserker stance with Recover, but there's one more thing we want to do here. In the same window, you can find all your skills by clicking on the category or name to categorize them all. And as a Berserker, there's one very important skill we want to add to our hotkey, Frenzy. This is a skill we use every 15 seconds to do extra damage, but they have a neat little button you can toggle here called Autoskill. This just fires off your Frenzy on cooldown without you needing to do it manually, so you can focus instead on things like your spells. You can also type /autoskill space Frenzy, and this will toggle it on and off as well. Now we have everything we need. We've got our dagger, our life tap, and Kibiker, our pet. So let's go freaking murder. Right behind us is the door out to North Road because the Ixars have made a little home in the desert. The first thing we see is a crypt mummy. Cool, I can go murder this thing with no problem because I'm multi-class and super powerful. That did not go as well. That didn't go as well as planned. This is why it's important to consider NPCs before running out and attacking them, like me. There's two different ways to see how dangerous something is to you, from their nameplates, which show the color of the con, or from actually pressing C when looking at them, having them target. If we go back and look at that mummy, by pressing the letter C with the enemy targeted, I get the consider message or con message in deep red. Basically, don't mess with this. A crypt mummy scowls at you, ready to attack. What would you like your tombstone to say? Level 15. This enemy is obviously way too hard for me. It's 14 levels higher than I am. As powerful as Kibiker is, he can't hard carry me against a red con. We can also tell from the message that this enemy is attack on sight, scowls at you ready to attack. Or similarly, this guy, Guard Bendil, who's jealous because he's a boring human and is glaring at me threateningly. So these red cons are too tough for us, so we need to go find something else that is more our level. What we're going to look for are cons that are white, even to my level, dark blue, slightly below my level, or even light blue, which is significantly below my level. Green and gray mobs are even further below my level, with gray basically being trivial. If I'm feeling really bold, I can try yellow cons, which are a level higher above me. Especially as I gain strength, these would be great to kill as they would give you more experience. All of these around me right now are just a little bit too hard for me. They're all red cons. So we're gonna go over to this grassy area. You can immediately see all the con colors of the enemies just by looking at their nameplates, mostly yellow. This one is a white con. Since I'm level 1, nothing is below my level yet. But this is perfect. In order to start combat, I can either run up to them and auto attack with melee by pressing the letter Q one time, or by right-clicking an enemy once. You only have to do it one time and it'll continue to auto attack. Since we already set my auto skill for Frenzy, it's going off when I auto attack. I don't actually have to press it. You can actually see it in the hotbar depressing and showing the red cooldown as it's firing in itself. I'm also currently in my Berserker stance with my Recover Invocation going, which you can see in the hotbar as being pressed in, showing that they're active right now, and they're slowly taking away my endurance, and for Berserker stance, a little bit of my health for all the damage I'm doing. The main active thing I'm doing now then is actually my spells, trying to keep myself alive by using my life tap skill here, because I'm dying pretty fast. But now that we're in a field of some appropriate leveled NPCs, and we want some vengeance, let's start the slaughter. As I've gone about killing en masse, this loot window has popped up showing the spoils of my bloodthirst. Loot in EverQuest Legends means that every kill will automatically populate the window with any loot as soon as something is killed, and coin loot will automatically go into your inventory. But now we can actually add to that coin total directly from the loot window because maybe we don't want to fill up our bags with a ton of beetle parts. In the loot window, we have the option to loot, merge, store, or sell. For our purposes, all we really will be doing right now is looting or selling. By clicking the sell button, I immediately sell the loot for vendor value directly from the loot window, giving me all the money I need to buy my spells as I level up. Merging is a bigger thing, it's a bigger part of EverQuest Legends. I won't go into too much detail about it here, but basically it's merging the same two items of the same type to make that item stronger, and you can do that directly from the loot window as well. One other helpful quality of life feature they've added here is on the map. To open the map, you just press M. The map is pretty much what you would expect. You can zoom in, zoom out, scroll around and everything like that. This is a bit different because this is actually from a map editor, which was originally in EverQuest, but now has been adapted here. And so you'll see some of these lines are drawn by EverQuest themselves or from other people. My map comes from a third party where you can download a whole map pack that has all these labels that show all the different people on them. Now, one thing you're not going to see on this map, but you will on the next map that I'm going to show you here, is if you have the tracking skill in EverQuest, like basically if you're Ranger, Bard, Druid, you will be able to see enemy little dots on the map that show you where they are. This is within the range of your tracking skills, so if you have a very low tracking skill, it's going to be a very tight window. If you have a very big tracking skill, it'll be much larger. But now as we're going about fighting, a few more kills and... automatically I was given a new spell in my spell book and I need to memorize it. Fear for getting to level 2. White cons have moved to dark blue and I'm on my journey through EverQuest Legends. From here you'll be able to continue on in the game. If you're completely unfamiliar, the way that it works is you go and you kill things, and that is how you progress in the game. You're not looking for quest NPCs. The main way to get experience, to get loot and money, is to go about and kill things. So just go out there, have fun, murder a lot of things, sell all their body parts for money, and buy your spells from your spell vendors. Whether you're brand new to EverQuest and have never played before, or you're a veteran who's just trying to try EverQuest Legends, I hope you found this beginner guide helpful. I want to say a quick thank you to EverQuest Legends for sponsoring this video. When I was approached to make this video, I was really eager to, because it's something that I'm very hopeful for. I want new people to come and play EverQuest, to come and experience the game even in this new fashion, to see some of the lore, some of the zones, some of the crazy loot, and some of all these things. And this is an exciting way to get people into the game. This beginner guide is really just scratching the surface of what EverQuest Legends is. It's a very deep game. There's a lot that goes into it. A lot of stuff like how they combine items and all the way that a bunch of these different AAs and skills and stuff work is all more advanced than this guide was going to get. The team behind EverQuest Legends, though, is making sure that there's more guides out there to get a little deeper into some of the more advanced parts of this game. So keep an eye out for those. But this guide will hopefully get you started so you can get into it and start finding things yourself. I also encourage you, there are general chat channels in the game. When you get in there, ask questions, say you're new. This is a solo-friendly game, but it is still a social game, and asking questions and asking for help is something that should kind of be expected. Especially if you're brand new to EverQuest, just go ahead and ask and say, I'm brand new to EverQuest. Help me, I don't know what I'm doing. If you've made it this far in the video and this is your first time ever playing EverQuest, please let us know down in the comment section, because I would love to hear about it. On my end, if you've been around this channel for the last 5+ years, you know I don't really take sponsorships. It's not really something I do. I think I did a HelloFresh one for like maybe a day. But other than that, I have not taken any sponsorships, so I was happy to finally take one that I felt good about. My name is Jared Flynn. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will see you all again soon.